welcome to the Knitting Project. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family and my animals. Today is Saturday the 8th of March 2025 and this is episode 180. Welcome if you are a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my podcast all about what I've got up to crafting wise since I last spoke to you, and big apology for missing last week. Last weekend ended up as a bit of a mission. I had a sick grandchild, probably enough said, and I just didn't get a chance to record. So we're going for it today. My voice is a lot better, but it has got a habit of just disappearing when I least expect it. So we're going with it. We are using some black oil to keep lubricated, which at 10 o'clock in the morning is dreadful. I'm sorry, don't judge me, but it does help my throat. I have got coffee too, which doesn't because it dries it, so you know. It is Saturday, my family are home. There could be background noise, of which case I apologise. We all know that my neighbour loves his leaf blower and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Surrey, and the blossoms out on the tree. I've been watching it come out all week from my desk and it's making me so happy. Spring is my favourite season, so I feel like I'm emerging from my cocoon of winter. Which is lovely and I'm really enjoying it. I went out yesterday and it just felt like a proper spring day. It was beautiful, so I'm happy to spend some time outside later on today, but I really do want to get the podcast done for you this week because I have some bits to show you. There's been some changes, shall we say, to the knitting. We have finished one advent, not that we finished the advent because it was a 20-gram advent, so I have loads left, but I have finished my homespun house socks. So this is the second pair. So this is days 13 to 24, and that was day 1 to 12, which is what I showed you in the last podcast. And then, yeah, I managed to finish the second pair, which is very exciting. I'm very pleased that I have at least managed to finish one advent. I have actually done one. I mean, as I said, I've got plenty of yarn left. I have not finished the advent, but I have finished my advent project. I think is probably a better way of putting it. So yeah, I've finished my advent project. I'm very pleased with them. Really like them. They are so much fun and it was a beautiful advent, and if I can I would love to get another one of these this year. I said it's homespun house and I made 2 pairs of scrappy socks. I used 10 rounds, I think it was 10 rounds per section. Slip stitch heel, wedge toe, 60 stitches on 2.5mm needles, and yes, I have got quite a bit left over, so I'm sure I can make another project with it. I just don't know what I'm going to make, and it's not something I am going to do for the moment. I am going to hold off making anything else, casting on. Well, do you know what? I'm going to hold off casting on with the rest of it. Who knows what this week will bring, because my brain is a complete squirrel, as you will see from what has happened in the last 2 weeks. It has been slightly ridiculous, but I was going to tell you the story later on, but as it's kind of come around to it now, I'm just going to put it in now. One day this week I changed and was doing a different project, and I decided I wanted to really try and concentrate on that project, and I went and put my dotted rays away in the lounge, and I was just putting it in the basket when I was like, actually I just want to knit on this is all I want to knit on. So I brought it back in and just knit on my dotted rays, and that has been the theme this week. Yesterday it was a pair of socks. I decided I just wanted to cast on this pair of socks. I mean, they are my March socks, so I can justify it. I can justify all my knitting, and I guess to a certain extent I don't have to. I'm sure most of you will understand, unless you are a one project person, and I used to be a one project person, so I would totally get that if that was the case. But recently I have just flitted between whatever catches my fancy. It does mean, however, I do not have very many finished objects, so I'm quite glad that I have managed to at least get, I've got 2 actually. I've got 2 finished objects. So I've got these, and the other one I'll show you in a moment. Yeah, At least I've done one of them. So that's my homespun house advent. Very pleased with those. Looking forward to wearing them. I'm not going to keep them. I'm going to put them straight into my sock drawer to wear. So my next project is living in my Taffety Mouse. That's it, Taffety Mouse bag. And this is my project that I'm doing with you guys. This is my year-long dishcloth project. The idea being that on the 6th of Jan, when we take down the Christmas decorations and our house looks a bit bare, we have a pile of nice new dishcloths to open, to put in our kitchens. So I've got all bathrooms, wherever you would like to put them. There is no rules. There is no rules to this cowl whatsoever. The only rule is that when we close it on the 6th or the 1st of Jan, you've got 12 dishcloths. I don't care if you knit 12 dishcloths in December or if you knit 12 dishcloths this January. That's the only rule. And then in January, I'm going to get you to send me photos of your 12 dishcloths in whatever shape or form you like. I'm going to get you to email them to me because I'll be honest and say I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. And I'm just going to randomly pick. I'm going to put all your names into a hat and get our friend over there whose name I'm not going to mention because she has misbehaved quite a bit this week. She interrupted a meeting, which was quite amusing, with something very inappropriate. If you want to know what that was, is direct message me. I'm not putting that on the podcast, but let's just say it was the definition of something, which was quite amusing. Anyway, off topic, but I will get my friend to choose a number and we will, or choose a name, and we'll do it that way. So anyway, so they're my January and my February dishcloths, and I now have a March dishcloth. So it's a nice cream one. This is the Wondrous dishcloth pattern from Jules of So Sweet Violet. I love this pattern. I really enjoy knitting it. Every time I knit one of these, I could quite happily carry on and knit all 12. So it's actually quite nice to keep them each month as a bit of a treat. But yeah, love this. And that's my little pile. So that's kind of more of my boring colours, shall we say. I'm sure for lots of you, Gaynor, I'm looking at you, these are much more your aesthetic, but I will be going into more of the the pastels from Easter onwards, so from April onwards. But yes, I'm quite looking forward to delving into those. There are 12 balls. This is Hello yarn. I got this from Amazon, and it's a DK. It's this one is colour 155. They're quite affordable. 25 gram ball. Is it DK or is it fingering weight? I think it's fingering weight. It's not DK, it's fingering weight. Sorry about that. Yeah, but it knits up some lovely dishcloths. I find that with my gauge, I get one less repeat of the pattern. So I think you're supposed to have 8 repeats and I only get 7, but it works fine for 7. I also find that some of these balls are a lot longer than others. That one, I had a lot left over because I was like, oh, have I not made it long enough or whatever? But no, it's the exact same size. It was just I had a lot left over. So they're a bit more generous on some of these than others. But I'm using 3.25mm Chalgo needles, and unusually for me, I am using these in Magic Loop, and I am loving it. I'm loving Magic Looping them. I am not loving the Judy's Magic Cast On though. 2 out of 3 of these I managed to do all on my own, no video, just cracked on. The last one, March's one, I'm guessing my head just wasn't in the headspace, but I could not get it. I watched the video, I went wrong. I watched the video, I went wrong. And then I was sitting there having finished my dinner and I wanted to cast this on and just thought, I'll have a go. And then I was distracted by what I was watching and then realised I'd cast it on. And I was like, okay, so obviously don't think about it. All done. And I really enjoyed them. So if you are joining me with that, thank you very much. I've had some messages from people that are, and I just love the fact it's such a simple cal, isn't it? It's just literally you're knitting a dishcloth. Doesn't have to be that dishcloth. It can be a granny's favourite dishcloth, which don't take very long at all. It can be any dishcloth you like. I know it's the Kitchen Something Company does a dishcloth of the month. You know, that would be double dipping. You'd have 2 cals, so that'd be brilliant. But yeah, the idea is just in January we have a little stack of fresh dishcloths for the year, and you could of course just use one a month and have a fresh dishcloth every month for the year of 2026. But I like it. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm not quite sure. I can't remember why it happened, other than I just thought at the end of taking the decorations down how bare the kitchen looks. So I was like, do you know what? Right, now I need to get into whips, and there's a lot of them because as I said, I have been a butterfly or squirrel the last 2 weeks. Right, I'll start with this one, which is living in my Dorothy bag. This is a Donna's Designs bag, and this is made using acrylic yarn. I have got quite a stash of acrylic yarn, and I'm finding it quite difficult to get it given to charity at the moment. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to knit some buckets in it, and either use them myself, or I might just donate them around the district to like old people's homes and things, because I think they'll be quite fun for them to keep stuff in. So this is a pattern that my lovely friend Kate recommended, and it's called Skara. It's the Skara bucket, Skra. I haven't written down who it's by, but if you Google Skra bucket, it does come up. It would be useful if I could show you the picture of it, but I can't. But this is mine started. So this is the bottom. It's quite good fun, as you can see. I like the inside as well. I'm doing this on 2 circulars. I'm using 4.5mm needles. I'd started off on 4mm needles, and the bottom of this is bulletproof. I have now gone up to 4.5mm needles because it was hurting my hands so badly. I was like, I can't carry on at this gauge. I need to. So I don't know how well this one's going to turn out, because obviously I've changed needle size halfway through the bottom, so we will see. But it's my first one, and it's a bit of an experiment. So I am using 100% acrylic. This is Mariner DK. I think this is yarn that one of the girls bought for a project and then never used. Not a knitting project, for something completely different, and never used. There's a whole bag of this in various very psychedelic colours. So that's the multicoloured one, and I've also got a load of this. It's like thick and thin yarn. Like art yarn. Can't remember who this is by. I did have its ball band, and they were both the ball bands were together, and I've just gone to get the ball band out, and the other one's not there. So it's this. If I find it, I'm sure I'll be showing this again, because I won't have finished it by next week. Famous last words. Maybe I will. Who knows? Place your bets here. So this is a thick and thin. So I'm holding that with that double, and as I said, I'm using 4.5mm needles. The pattern has it for fingering weight using scraps. The pattern is gorgeous, and it is designed to use up all the tiny little scraps of your fingering weight indie dyed yarn. So please do go and check it out for that reason. You don't need acrylic for this. It's just, I have this sitting there doing nothing, and I thought, do you know what? If all else fails, it'll go in Ira's, play toy box or something. But I just thought I might just, anonymously go and post them around the district as I finish them, because I'm not going to need that many, I don't think. I'll probably keep my first one, because why wouldn't I? But yeah, hopefully you'll see that grow over the course of the weeks, and I can tell you a little bit more. And this is the problem, because I don't print out my paper patterns anymore, although did I print that out by accident? Hold on, I may have printed this one out by accident. You know when you accidentally, you know when you accidentally, instead of saving the PDF, you print the PDF? I printed the PDF. So yeah, so it's the Scara bucket by the Passion Knit Spin. Yeah, the Passionate Spinner. There we go. Passionate Spinner. There, that's what he looks like. There we go. I did actually print this one out. As you can see, it's designed for your leftovers of fingering weight yarn, so they're a really good way of using up your leftovers. Kate's made a couple of these and they're really beautiful. The ones she made are just gorgeous, and she keeps telling me I need to make one, and I kind of hadn't. And then, as I said, I saw this in the cupboard of doom, which I'm hopefully going to be sorting out this coming week. And I was like, what am I going to do with this yarn? Because I'm not binning it, it's not going in the bin. And the 3 charities I have contacted have all said that they have enough yarn at the moment. They will let me know. I've put it on Facebook Marketplace and, you know, put posts about giving it away, and I can't. So at the moment, I'm going to make stuff and see if I can at least give away the stuff I've made. Right, so that's that. We'll see how it goes. I don't anticipate that they will take me a long time now that I've swapped up the needles. So that's that one. Next up, well, there's a bunny I've not seen in a while. So this is hanging out in my Sherry Iris bag. I have been wearing a lot of pinafore dresses over the last couple of weeks because the weather's getting to the stage where layering is nice. So I can just take the cardigan off and, you know. So I've been wearing lots of pinafore dresses for work. And the other day I wore one of my EDTs under my pinafore dress. And I was like, oh, this is nice. This is a really good use of an EDT. Also, don't need it to be particularly long because it's going underneath a pinafore dress. I was like, oh, I'm going to cast on an EDT. And then my brain went, wait a minute. I'm fairly certain I have one under construction. And I did. I have my Sherry Iris one. So this is made in Sherry Iris yarn. And yeah, I am very aware that this would go beautifully under this particular pinafore dress. So you've not seen this in a while. I've nicked the needles obviously out of it because it's all on barber cord, and I've joined the front, so I'm obviously only just going to go round and round and round on the body. So I have started a sleeve, so that's all in that colour so far, and I've just swapped into this colour, and I'm trying to find a little like lace edging to do for the edge of my sleeve. So I want a little pretty lace cuff. If anybody can point me in the direction of a pretty lace cuffed sleeve on a pattern, I would be grateful because I'm struggling to find one. I know I did one on the one that I've got, the other one I've got, my Lay Family Yarn one. I cannot for the life of me remember what I used for that pattern. Can't find that EDT either. That I think I mean, I say I can't find it, I know where it is. It's in my summer clothing bag, which I haven't got out yet. I can't be bothered to do that. So I didn't make notes, so I have no idea what I used, but I want to do the lace in this. So I've done one round of just attaching this onto that, and then I'm going to do the lace in that. So if you do happen to have a lace pattern, I would be very grateful. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. Oh, it's so pretty, isn't it? So pretty. So I want to work on that. As I said, I have joined in. I have put in the needles, and I knit. So I put in the needles. I've knit the that colour, and now I'm just doing that. So that's been quite a good week. And these are, and I don't know which ones they are, I've got left is a prettyish kind of little wilderness, which is one of these two. I think it might be that one. And June. One's a club colorway. I've only got these 2 ball bands. I'm assuming that one of these goes with each one of these. Don't think it's got a middle in it. No. So yeah, I think one of those, each of these goes with that. But there are obviously 3 yarns in this, so I've used the whole of that one up there. So I don't know if one of these ball bands goes to that colour, because I've only, oh, hold on, I have now found the third. That's the third one. And the third one is In My Garden. So I'm not sure which one is which, but those are the 3 names. And these are all Sherry Iris yarn, and they're all 75% merino, 25% nylon, sock weight, fingering weight yarn. And I've knit my EDT on a 4mm needle. I love the gauge that gives me in fingering weight yarn. It's very light and airy, but still dense enough that you can wear it, you know, not see anything through it. So yeah, that's very much had my favour this week. So we'll be cracking on with that. So much this week. Right, let's put that one in there. Then what's next? Quite careful which order I'm doing this in. So next up in my lovely So Sweet Violet bag is my dotted rays. And this kind of really was my project of choice this week. I've put in 2 minis since you last saw this. No, I haven't. I've put in 1 mini since you last saw this, because I think you saw the pink. So I've put in that colour there. And I'm just about to start putting this in. There's a few rows of that at the top. Oh, isn't it pretty? So this end gives you a better idea of both the pattern and the colours. At the moment, the colours are still just about going to the very end. They'll come to a stage where they won't quite go there. I like it. It kind of reminds me of like an abstract painting effect. It's really pretty. So I'm just cracking on with that, and this is my swap that I did with my friend Jules from So Sweet Violet at Christmas. These are all the little minis I've got to go in there, of which there are quite a few. So there's 24, and I've put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's number 6. So I'm a quarter of the way through. And I've got my 2 little. Do you remember these from a couple of weeks ago? Or is the Willy Goodness unboxing I did of the Valentine's box? I had these 2 ladybirds, so they're sitting on the end of there, just holding my stitches in place. So the Dotted Rays is a pattern by Stephen West. Again, I think I'm using 4.5mm needles. Yep, 4.5mm Chalco needles. I've got no idea if that's what the pattern calls for or not, by the way. A lot of the time with me, when it's something like this, it's more a case of grabbing the needles that are free than grabbing the needles that I should use. So this could be a bit of a looser gauge than normal. But having said that, it's a shawl. We don't mind. And it is gorgeous. I love it. So yeah, looking forward to just working on that. I think this might be the project I take with me to the East Anglia Yarn Festival, because other than having to wrangle stitch markers, it's pretty straightforward. Haven't really thought too much about it, but I do need to work out what I'm taking. I mean, probably be socks, because it's normally socks, but actually if I'm going to take socks, I might as well take that, to be honest. There's only like 1 row I need to really concentrate on, and then I need to be able to count a few stitches on the way back. But yeah, love that. I've been working on that a lot. Right, we are getting there. I've got 2 new cast-ons and my cozy memory blanket. So I'm going to do my cozy memory blanket first, then I'll show you my 2 new cast-ons. My cozy memory blanket is living in my beautiful seaside bag from Busy Pottering, one of my favourite ever bags. And here is my cozy memory blanket. And it's actually quite heavy with all the stitch markers on it, so I'm quite glad to be able to show this, so that I can get rid of the stitch markers. So we've got homespun house, and then the whole of that row is homespun house. All of those are homespun house. And then on here we've got up to there is homespun house, and then those two are both my Jules minis. So I'm putting them into this before I use them in the project, especially the dotted rays, because I keep going then until I've used up all the yarn. But just to make sure that I've definitely got a sample in here, I do it in here first, and then I use the rest of it in the project. So here we go. We have got, that's how it's looking. It's just a very typical cozy memory blanket, isn't it? Very eclectic, all the colours, and yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving doing my square. So I do that each time I start a new mini. So my squares are 18 by 18, so they're really tiny squares, but they're 18 by 18, and I don't do a centre double decrease. I do a decrease behind each side of a stitch marker, but there is a snippet which is a tutorial about how I do my cozy memory blanket, so if you are curious, please go check that out. I use 2.5mm needles, and yeah, it's growing, isn't it? It's amazing how quickly they grow, which is just as well when I show you my next project. Oh dear. So that's my cozy memory blanket. And then my next project, which is a new cast on, and is hanging out in my Brendy bag from my birthday swap that I did with Brendy and my friend Laura, because we're all June babies. And in here is the tiny little start of a cozy memory blanket. Here we go. So long-term viewers of the podcast might remember that I did a little baby blanket for Ira, and Kate loves that blanket to pieces. She always gets some nice compliments on it. And a very close friend of my middle daughter's, Ellie, is having a baby in June, so I want to try and do 2 squares a day. As you can see, that thought happened last weekend, and this is all I've managed to do. I need to find a main skein though. That's been my stopping point, actually, is the fact that I need to locate a main skein. I also need to know how many squares I did on Kate's blanket. I keep asking her to count it. She keeps saying she will, and so far she has not. Anyway, I'm using my leftovers from my dandelion and dogwood advent. So it does mean that I have to finish my heart and cowl alongside doing that, which I think might be a bit of an ask. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because the heart and cowl is huge. It's 300 stitches. But I really want to use this because I think she'll love these colours. So yes, not too sure what to do that. I can see an abandonment of the heart and cowl coming up, or weighing these. Actually, that would work, wouldn't it? If I weigh these and make sure that I leave the rest. So if these are like 15, make sure I leave 5 grams for the heart and cowl. It's a dangerous game to play, isn't it? Maybe I'll leave a little bit more just to be on the safe side, because I want to use as much of these up then in this as I can. So I'm assuming I can get at least 2 squares out of the leftovers, and that actually was the beginning, which used more anyway. So yeah, we will see. We'll see what happens with that. As I said, I need to find a main skein. Well, I really need 2 main skeins, because if I remember rightly, I actually ran out of main skein with Katie's. So I need to find 2 main skeins to go with this. It'd be quite useful if they were the same. Yeah, I need to get on with this. And now I have a small plan for working out the heart and cowl yarn that would work. So that was one of my new cast ons this week, and my other new cast on is a spoiler. So it is hanging out in my Sherry Iris Daisy bag. If you have not had your Lay Family Yarn Secret Santa Sock Club skein this month, you need to look away. And for that reason, I'm not going to say an awful lot about it. I'm going to show you what it's called on the screen. I'm not going to say it. and I'll show you the socks, and I'll talk about the style of socks I'm making, but I'm not going to say anything about the colour because I don't want to spoil anyone. So if you've not had yours yet, please do look away and I will tell you when you can look back. Okay, so that's the label and that's the details, and it's very pretty. So I am making shorty socks. That is the main skein. So pretty. And that is the mini that went with it. And I am making some little shorties because that's all I've got the brain capacity for. And I've done a little picot edge cuff to start. And then it's just a plain shorty because this yarn is so beautiful. I really don't think it needs a pattern. So yeah, I've just done that, and I'm going to use that for the toe as well. So it's going to have the matching toe. But yeah, just made a little pair of shorties to go with my Santa socks. I'm using 2.5mm needles, heel flap and gusset. It'll be a wedge toe, but like I said, I just did a little picot cuff on it just to give it something really pretty. Yeah, love these. Whether I keep them for Christmas is another matter because I really like them. And when this first arrived, I looked at it and went, that's it, this is the time I'm tapping out. I've done 2, I'm not going to be doing any more. And then the next day, I was like, actually, it's such a pretty yarn, I really want to use it. So I was like, right, I'm going to wind that, I'm at least going to wind the balls up, and then you can look back now by the way I've put it away. I can at least have it there if I do want to cast it on. Now I have got you've probably seen them, what's it called, a Kado electric ball winder, which have been all over the internet, certainly on Instagram. Now I bought one and thought, well, I'll give it a go, see what it's like. It's got a few quirks. It has got a few quirks. But overall, it's doing really well. It winds up an ice ball, which you would have seen if you saw the sock I just showed you. And it works quite well. It works quite well. If it meets some resistance, it stops, but that's fine. That's better than having a load of yarn bath. I've got it attached to my bookcase, which is why I keep looking over there, and it just sits there. I put my Swift on my desk here, so it's about the right height, because you need to have your tail of your Swift coming out the same height or below the bottom hole of the arm that comes out. I will actually do a review of it at some point, and it's sitting on my desk. That's perfect, so I can actually set it going, go off, make a cup of tea, go have a conversation. Sometimes I'll come back and it's stopped because it's snagged, but most of the time it's just wound up my ball. So that's good, and I'm glad it's now I've got that, because I had it on here and then I had to put my Swift on the floor, which was not ideal, especially with a cat around. So actually being able to put it on my desk, and it's been a game changer. So that's worked really, really well. I did think about putting it up on there, which I could still do, and I might do. I'm not sure whether the depth there is deep enough to put it on top of the calyx, but yeah, it's working really well. So I've now got an electric ball binder. Ball winder, there we go. So I shouldn't have the excuse I can't be bothered to wind the arm. So anyway, I'm glad I started them. I really like them. I worked on them a lot yesterday, and yeah, they're back in rotation. Right, that is the end of the knitting. I have a few purchases to talk about. Right, so keeping on the theme of Lay Family yarn, I bought her Dahlia Society sock set. I was not going to buy this month's one, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, I really want that. And I'm really glad I did. So this is rhubarb and custard, and oh my goodness me, what a skein, what a skein. Absolutely love it. If you've seen Kelly's latest podcast, her daughter Megan's knit some socks in it, and they are just glorious. And I was just like, oh, So I nearly cast this on instead of the Santa one, but the brain went, actually, I like the Santa one as well. And that is part of a year-long knit-along. So let's just do that. And even if I'm just going to do shorties, it's up to me, isn't it? It's not an actual cowl, so, you know. But yeah, isn't this gorgeous? So pretty, honestly. Keep picking up ends. So pretty. But yeah, love that. Really love it. So that's, yeah, I may cast that on. Watch this space. It's a possibility. Right, and then this is also not a club. So this is the March. And no, I have not done February. And no, I have not finished January. But this is the March. What is it called? Whimsical Window from the Vintage Sewing Box. I haven't even opened this, actually. It's bad. And I may put a note. You know, you can put notes on your orders on some things. I put a note to Emma, who's the lovely person behind the Vintage Sewing Box, saying, hello lovely, I still haven't finished Jan yet. This may be a 2-year project. And she's put, thank you Sharon, and no rush. So this is Marches, which is just so pretty. I may have to like start Marches because I really like that. I mean, I like them all. That's the stupid thing. I did so much. I've done so much of January, so I just need to crack on with it. I think my sticking point with January at the moment is literally the bag it's in. There's so much stuff in there. I need to make it easier to get it out. But that's the March window. And then you can buy pre-printed fabric to go with it, which I have done. So that's the background one. And then this is the frame. And then also you get some hexiform, that's what it's called, to go between. You do still need some wadding and you need a binding, which I've got. I just haven't finished it yet. I need a little bit more time, but there's some life changes going on at the moment that might mean I actually get a little bit more time. Not with work. Work is still there, but with other things. Less to do with other stuff, which might be nice. So that's that anyway. So I bought that. So they're my 2 non-mystery purchases. And then, gosh, my pile here is getting out of control. Let's put you back down there. And then these are my 2 clubs. And my first one is the Woolly Goodness Movies something. Hold on. What's it called? Minis from the Movies Club. Okay, this is February 2025 and is based on The Princess Bride. If you have not had yours, please look away now. This is stunning. I love this club so much. So that's the little card that comes with it. This is set for February 25, inspired by the film Princess Bride. These are 5 10-gram mini skeins on Sparkle. And join us again on March the 3rd for our next trip to the movies. They're doing The Fifth Element, which is one of my favourite films, so I'm really excited about that. So here we go. I'm probably not going to tell you what the names are, the inspiration is behind it. I'll just show it on the screen, just in case you've looked away. So that's that one. That is the picture. And then isn't that gorgeous? Look at the sparkle. And then we've got that. That's the inspiration picture. And I would say more about the colours, but obviously as there's a possibility that people have not got theirs. Love this one. So this is that one. stunning. Then we have that one. Which again, absolutely stunning. And then this is the last one. Oh, just that bit first. Then that bit. And then, oh, I'm just going to hold them all up together for you. Oh, they're just perfect. I've got to find a project for these. I really do need to find a project for these. I love it so much. Right, you may look back. Oh, love them. That's that one. And then this is my last thing. We're nearly there, guys. So this is my Beehive Yarns Seasons Spell Yarn Club. I get two minis, two 20-gram minis. And again, this is February, so if you have not got your Beehive Yarns February Season Spell Yarn Club, look our way. I'm just going to show you. I mean, I think the inspiration picture is actually on the listing, so that should be okay. That's the inspiration picture. And then it also came with that. We all know where that's going. And then, oh, this is so pretty. Aren't they beautiful? Love this so much. And that's the details. But yeah, again, I want to find something to do with these. I want to try and keep them together. I need to find a pot. That's probably what I should use a Scara bucket for. There you go. Keeping all my clubs together. That would work, wouldn't it? I need to find a pot for that to go in. But I love them. Right, you can look back. So that is very much the end of everything I have to show you. It's been a busy couple of weeks of lots of changes of minds of projects, but we're going with it. I was chatting to my friend Kelly, who's the dyer behind Low Family Yarn, and she'd said something about the fact just go with whatever your heart feels like working on. Literally about, I'd watched it just after I'd done the whole putting the dotted rays away and then getting it back out again. And I literally messaged her and said, it was like you were telling me that it was okay to do it. It was like this complete vindication of what, or validation of what I'd felt. Not that you need it, do you? It's just so crazy, isn't it? We just give ourselves this unrealistic deadlines and arbitrary rules and all sorts of things about our own crafting, and the crafting is there for it to be our fun hobby. And I mean, I hope this isn't the case, because that would be very sad, but if I never have another finished object, at least I'm going to have enjoyed the process. Maybe that should be my tagline. On that note, I will not be with you next weekend because I am going to EAYF, the East Anglia Yarn Festival. So I went to the first one, and this is the first time I've been able to go since Laura moved to the showground, because it kept being on Mother's Day and I need to be here for Mother's Day. So as it's not Mother's Day this time, I am actually heading off to EAYF. I cannot wait. I'm meeting up with two very close friends who I'm also dying to see. And I won't, therefore, be podcasting next week, but hopefully I may have a vlog of EAYF, of us all meeting up, and a podcast with some purchases the following week, which will be really exciting. So I think that's it from me now, thankfully. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I will see you whenever I get the chance to podcast again next time, but hopefully in 2 weeks.